Good morning. I'm going to attempt a tutorial. How is everyone? I did a live yesterday, so as soon as I get this video done, I will probably take that live down because I think it was more confusing than helpful. And if you know me, you know that tutorials make me a nervous wreck. So I had a question from someone about the bookbinding tool set. How to use it? What do I do with it? What can you do with it? And I wanted to show a few different ways because they're just one way that I generally make all of my journals, but we all know there's a million ways to make your covers. Yes, this is for covers. I'm not doing a full journal tutorial. Anyway, so the first way is I've taken 2 pieces of masonite board. I've already glued, I just picked some scrapbook paper onto them. I've made my spine, it's a curved spine, backed it with just a piece of plain white fabric, and then I'm going to show you how to put this all together and put a spine on it. There will be a link down below to my Etsy shop where you can purchase the binding tool set, and if you want the whole set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's a 10-piece set. My 2 guides right here I've stained, and I quickly realized that that was a lot of work, so I'm selling them not stained.
Motion detected at your front door.
So the one with the 7, I believe that's millimeters, right? Yeah, that's 1/4 of an inch. The 6 is just under 1/4 of an inch. So if you don't want your gusset or gap, whatever you call it, in between your spine and your cover, if you want it a little bit smaller, use the 6. And then there's also 2 of the 1/4 inch sticks without the top, you know, in case maybe you have a smaller or bigger, or you want to use it for something else. So there's that. Then you also get 2 rulers. And then there's a miter tool. This one says hardboard, this one says cardboard. They're just a very small difference in the height. I'm trying to show you. It's really hard to see, and I'm crooked. But there's just a tiny little bit of difference in the height. It does make a difference when you're mitering corners. This way, I didn't need to miter corners, but on the next 1, 2, on the next 2 I will. And I'm going to show you both of these on that. So I'm going to scoop these out of the way so I don't get anything on them. Off we go. Just breathe. Okay, so if you take your spine with your fabric, put 1 guide at the top, 1 guide at the bottom, and if your book is taller, it'll still work perfectly. You can just scooch this down, scooch this up, because ultimately what you want is you want to know that your covers are lined up perfectly with the top and bottom of your spine. See, my spine is the same height as my covers. So this is how I do it. I know some of you use tape. I know some use, 100 different kinds of glue. I just use Fabri-Tac. Tape, double-sided tape is not my friend because once you stick it, it's stuck. I always spread out my Fabri-Tac. Couple reasons. 1, it dries a lot quicker. And 2, in case you goof and set it down in the wrong spot, you can pick it back up real quick and then get it down. With tape, you're one and done. I can't. I can't. And yes, I finally have I had to resort to the small bottles. My hands are not letting me use the big bottles anymore. Just not working. Just make sure that your guide is over there. Push down. Snug it up. Just hold it down for a minute. And normally I would take a big heavy book, set it on here for a couple of minutes, wait for it to dry. But we're gonna move quickly. So I'm gonna try. This is hashtag all Jen's fault. If you guys don't know Jen at Genevieve Designs, I will also have her link in the description box. I watched a couple of your videos this morning, Jen, and I found one way that you make a cover that was very intriguing to me and I hadn't seen before. So I am going to be attempting that today. Heaven help me. All right, let me flip that over, make sure I'm not too stuck. All right, now this is the part where I'm using book cloth, very soft, and it's got paper on the back. Because when you're using cloth and glue, you've got to be careful so that your glue doesn't seep through, right? So here's what I do. Take my Timmy ruler, because I want to find, I'm marking the center. It's very hard to do upside down. I don't trust myself. Let's try it this way. Sorry guys, gotta go off camera. I can't do that upside down. Zero trust in myself upside down. All right, so I've marked the center, top and bottom of the spine. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with this fabric so that hang on just a second here. There we go. So that the so it's even on both the front and back cover. Goodness gracious. It's going to be one of those kind of days where I can't find my words. Right. You see I've marked the top and the bottom. And off we go with the glue. I use my finger for this. You could use a popsicle stick, a silicone brush, whatever you want. But you do have to be kind of quick. I spread my glue out so it doesn't leave big globby marks in my fabric. And it dries super quick. All right, everything's straight and flat. I'm just gonna kind of set that there. I can already tell it's crooked. And then line up. There's my bottom. I know that's lined up. And that looks almost, yeah, that looks good. Now I'm just gonna give it a little push. I like to use a paintbrush for this to just push it down there and get that edge. And then that's where you can begin to see the gusset. And just go over it a little bit, hoping that it dries quickly so we can move on. Right now I'm going to go down onto the fabric, put a good amount of glue, move that around with my popsicle stick, fancy tools, and then go back again with my paintbrush. I'm hoping you guys can see because I don't want to lift it up wet. Same thing on the other side. Just do that a few times until it gets, you know. The camera's a little bit blown out, but I picked burgundy just because of that dragonfly had burgundy on it. There's some pink on here. You guys know I'm not really a pink flowery girl. I'm really stretching it here. Right now, I'm gonna go onto the fabric. I'm pushing it on with the tip because this part I'm not really going to be able to smear with my finger. Just trying to get right as close to the edge as I can. I'm going to take the guide and set it down in there, and I just go like this. It looks like I might not have cut it straight. Uh-oh. I hear my husband doing yard work. Of course. Okay, pretend I cut that straight. Oh dear. Here we go again. Oh, yep, here comes Weed Eater Man. It never fails. How often do I do a recorded video? Nearly never. I said, are you going to be home today? Yeah. Oh, okay. Look at that. The back's perfectly straight. Of course. Of course. You guys see that little bit right there? That's going to drive me crazy. It might look fine when we're done. We'll see. All right, I'm going to pause the video real quick while he comes around the front of the studio and let this dry for a second. When we come back, we will fold it over and glue it. And we're back. Hopefully, he won't come down here for a little bit. We'll see. I forgot to say, I put my 2 sticks and something heavy on there while I waited for it to dry. This item is something that I did make with the laser. That is a little square in the bottom, so you can put in 1 ink and it won't slide away. Just put your other one on top and you can switch them out. I've got this dabber that fits. I've got this dabber that fits. This spot, you can, what is this? Barely Art Precision Craft Glue or Art Glitter Glue can fit in there. This one fits an 8-ounce bottle. I also have the one that fits the 4-ounce bottle of Fabri-Tac. They're not in my Etsy shop, but leave me a comment down below if you would like to see them in the Etsy. So this is dry-ish. And this is how, I know a lot of people make little snips. I used to, and it would cause me problems, and I found out it was a lot more work. So now I just put the Fabri-Tac on there, fold it over. It looks a little messy at first, but just trust me. Fold it over, close it up like this, push that fabric down with your finish, so you get a nice there, and then just go in and push your spine, and it's Fabri-Tac, so it goes pretty quick. Lay it back down, hit it with that paintbrush, or you could also use a ruler. If you don't want to do a paintbrush, you can use a ruler like this, right? That gives me a nice, even, hang on, I gotta pull this down. Nice, nice even. And then when it's dry, you see how my gusset's gonna be nice and nice like that. I'm trying to move quickly because I need to get them both glued and then laid flat so they'll completely dry like that. Fold it over. Put it shut. Get a hold of the corner. Get a hold of those corners and pull those tight. And then, you know, just whether you're right-handed or left-handed, hold it with one hand, how it's going to be if it was almost shut. And again, just lay it down like that. And then voila. Voila? Yeah, voila. All right, then, so I'm going to let this dry. Let me hold it up close and see. You see how you've got nice, other than that little nib of fabric not being perfectly straight. So I'm going to set this down. I'm going to put these guys in just like this. My tissue paper on top. Set a heavy book on it. Let it dry while we move on to the next one. And then I'll show it to you before we're done when it's dry. Then my next step, I will take and put a coat of Mod Podge on the scrapbook paper. Let it dry. Sand it with very fine sandpaper. Do another coat. Let it dry. Sand it. And then it'll get 2 coats of clear matte sealer. And then we're good to go. And I also I sand the edges of my board and the edge of my paper and then ink it up. So then once we've put in all the coats of sealer on it and everything, you can't tell that this piece of paper, it looks like it's part of the wood. So let me get that one in the drying rack. We'll move on to the next one. All right, this is the one I was struggling with yesterday. Let's see how it goes today. So this is just cardboard. I don't know. It's not super thick, not super thin. And a piece of scrapbook paper. I thought this was pretty. So the way I'm going to do this one, make sure we have enough room here. And let's put it up where you can see what I'm doing. There's that. And I'll get a couple of these guys. Might have to make, I think I'm gonna have to make this spine just a tiny bit smaller to fit it. Yeah, let me go take this down just a little bit. Bear with me. So what did we end up with on the spine? 1.5. So now you can see that I'm going to have just enough room to fold everything over, right? So off we go. Let's make sure your paper's right side up, Johnny. Yeah, it is. All right, here we go off into Fabri-Tac land. I'm using the big bottle this time only because it's old and it really needs to be used up. Now this one won't get Mod Podge on the other side because I'm using Fabri-Tac for this. You generally, when you're using something other than, you know, wood or whatnot, you want to use the same type of glue, substrate, whatever you call it, on both sides to keep it from warping. Right. Right, so we got that one down. that down. Next, I'm going to do my spine. I did one kind of like this yesterday, but I did it with masonite board, and the paper gave me a little bit of trouble. Or actually, I was using Tim Holtz cardstock. It gave me a little bit of trouble when I went to fold the edges over. So I decided to use regular scrapbook paper, which is a little bit thinner and a little bit more forgiving. All right, so we got that one in there good. That one down. Once we get all this down and let it dry for a second, then we're going to trim that big piece off the top, and we'll use the corner miter tools to get nice corners so we don't have anything peeking out on the inside. Everything is as it should be. Okay, dry. All right, I'm going to pause, let it dry, and then we will be back to miter the corners. All right, so I have the miter tools set, and I wanted to show you the difference. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it from down here. I'm going to go like this. I'll do one at a time and show you. All right, so this is just a piece of, cardboard. So there's just a little bit of difference. I don't know if you can really see that. There is a little gap right there, and we don't want that. This one's a little bit smaller, and it fits snug, and that's what we want to get a perfect corner. So I'm just holding it on the corner. Snip. And in a perfect world, you fold these over, it should give you a nice perfect corner with no gap, with nothing showing once you make the fold. Just gonna do a quick little fold before I glue. Like that. Bone folder. And let's see. I'm going to do the long side first. That always seems to work the best for me. So I'm just making sure I get right up against the edge and all the way around. Got a nice fold. Put up against the edge. All right, this is the second cover I'm going to do, and then I'm going to try and mix the way I make a cover and the way Jen makes. It was one of her album covers, and I saw it and I was like, oh, I like that. I think I need to try it. I'm going to incorporate kind of both of our styles together. Let's see what happens. So the way I'm doing this, you could do this with paper or fabric. Same, with cardboard or cardboard masonite board, whichever. Oh, better use the little one. You really want to make sure you get glue right down in that little corner right there. And for me, this is the trickiest part. I don't know how people without fingernails do this because I don't think I physically can. So the trick to this for me is these two little nibs that are right here. If you just give those just a tiny little push, and I use my fingernail right before you flip it over, you don't have any of that little sticky outy stuff, right? See that corner? There's nothing sticking out, and there's nothing sticking out on that side. Right? Here we go. One more side, and then I'm going to test something. We got a glabagoo. Oh, and comment below if you can hear the weed eater. I apologize. I swear I need to get a light that hangs in my window that says on air. Not that he would look to see, but in my defense, I could say, look, I was making a video when you did that. I don't know if you guys some of you were watching my live the other night, and him and the dog were in the pool, and all of a sudden, and it was late. I mean, later than I'm normally down here. It was dark. And I see him come walking in. I was like, oh, he's coming to ask about dinner. And he walks in, and there's something, he's got something in his hands, and it's black, and it's moving, and he knows I'm horribly afraid of bats. They freak me out. Anyway, I thought he was bringing a bat. It was actually a gorgeous black butterfly. Oh, anyway, I showed it on the stream. Okay, so there it is like that. Now, I'm going to, just for my sanity, I'm not sure which kind of tape this is. It doesn't say, but just for my sanity, I'm going to, I just want a little bit of extra. I don't want this to rip. Not that I don't trust it, but I don't trust it. So I'm just going to, you could use masking tape. You could probably use Scotch tape. I don't know. If anybody knows what kind of tape this is. It is quite sticky, and it is, I don't think it's painter's tape. I can tell you I wouldn't put it on the wall and use it before I paint it, that's for sure. All right, I feel a little bit better now about that not ripping, right? So voila, perfectly perfect corners, and the spine has got plenty of room. Now, if I wanted to, at this point, because I think that would look so gorgeous, even though there's already paper there, let's see. This is where I'm afraid I might rip it. Maybe not. I'm using the big end, not the pointy end. Well, he could be anywhere else, but he's got to be right behind the studio. Hopefully the little StreamYard background noise thing is working. All right. There, can you guys see the gussets now? Let's see, now I'm afraid they're going to tear. So I don't know. They might. So I would probably hit this with some clear matte sealer. Right? There, you can see him now. There we go. All right, so there's number 2. So again, you could do that with fabric or with paper. And then if you decide you wanted, to put fabric on the spine, just do it like I did the other one. This really would be quite pretty. It looks like denim. Wouldn't that be pretty? Okay, but I'm just going to leave that one how it is for now. I may end up putting that on there. All right, let's look at the other one. I'm sure it's dry. All right, so there it is flat. Look at that. Now, when I push this in, it's almost dry. It's going to go back down there. But now when I push it in, do you see? Let's see if I can show you that way. There you go. You see that nice gusset there? I love that. Absolutely gorgeous. And there's my curved spine. So I'm going to put this one back down to finish drying. And I'm going to pause while I set up for the next one. Okay, like magic, we're back. So this way, this cover is going to kind of be a combination of something I saw Jen do and then a way that I kind of do mine. I don't know if this is going to work. I haven't tried this before, so this is a test. This is the digital that's been sitting on my computer for years that I've never used. So I did a front cover, a back cover, and there's the spine. So we'll get to that in a minute. I'm using Masonite board. I've got a 1 3/4 inch curved spine all ready to go. Got my spine guides. So I was watching Jen make one of her albums, and she used coffee dyed paper. She covered the whole thing, and then she laid, her gorgeousness, which I'm going to have to go down that rabbit hole soon and get some of her gorgeousness to make some journals, on top. And so I've cut these just a little bit smaller so that you can still see the edge of the tea-dyed paper poking through. Now, again, I'm not good with tape, so I'm going to use glue. So I'm a little bit scared on how this might work, but we're just going to do it. We're just going to do it and see what could possibly go wrong is the question. And this is a Masonite board that is smooth on one side, and then it's got that funky stuff on the other. So because I'm using paper, I am going to grab my silicone brush and smooth this out really quick in hopes that it doesn't bleed through too much. But again, once you smooth that out, you got to be quick because it dries super fast. If the air hits it, I think it's because of the acetone. All right, we're good to go there. Get my spine guide in. Oh, Johnny, you weren't thinking. Because this isn't a flat spine. Okay, this might be tricky. I think I'm going to have to... See? I told you. Should have used a flat spine, Johnny. Should have used a flat spine. All right. Well, we're going to be winging this. Yep, spreading it out with my finger. All right, let's get this side lined up. Perfect. You know what? Where'd those sticks go? Gotta use one of the sticks to keep that there. I go like this. I win. think I might win this battle. The other side might be a little tricky, but you know me, my preference is a curved spine. Nothing against people that do flat spines. I just love curved spine. But you stay there. And the other one. Oh my goodness. There it is. Spin it around. Okay, here goes nothing. Here we go. Gonna have to peel that label off of there, I think. No, it'll get covered up. You'll never see it. There'll be end pages there. Yeah, now that I have the laser, I don't have to ask my husband unless I want, 100 boards cut. I don't have to ask him to cut boards anymore. He's quite happy about that. All right, here goes nothing. I'm actually gonna slide that out. Slide this one in just so I can make sure that it's straight. There we go. I know you can't see the bottom and I apologize. All right, I think we're good. So, you see that? Voila. I'm going to cut a not very straight line over here. Everybody watch. And this is a 11 by 17 piece of coffee dyed. Grab my miter tool. Yep. If you guys would be so kind as to leave comments below if you have like a link to a video that might show me an easier way to do what I'm doing, or let me know if you've tried any of these different techniques for making a cover. Always love feedback, good, bad, or indifferent. All right, so now, here we go. Here goes nothing. And again, because I don't usually do this way, I am concerned about the spine. So we're probably going to put some tape in there. Might even, you know what, I'm going to give this a little snip. I wouldn't normally, but because I've got that rounded spine there. That way the paper can get where it's supposed to be. Because if it was flat, it would be okay. Because got those rounded. Oh, I hope this works. Well, I saved this one for last. If you know me, you know I don't edit my videos, so you get to see it all. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to give this 2 snips. Snip, snip. Snip, snip. Now, what's going to be tricky on this is when I go to do the front cover, when I go to put the digis on, I am going to use Mod Podge. Hopefully it doesn't react to the Fabri-Tac. But I'm excited to try. All you can do is try. If it's a fail, oh well. We all learn something, right? All right. Come on. For some reason, this side of the board that's not smooth takes a little bit more work to get the glue to stick. All right. Oh, you turned it off. Good, maybe he's taking a break. It got nice and quiet. Well, because I've only got one AC running. The laser's not on right now. So it's quiet. I either have it completely quiet in here or I have music blaring. Today is a quiet day. Come on, stick. Oh, my stomach's growling. Sorry. All right. Corner. 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 All right. Now, I need to make a decision on, or I think we're okay for now. So, let's just see what this is gonna look like. So that will go there. I don't know, you know what? I could put these down with Fabri-Tac and then just use spray sealer. Ugh, that's gonna be pretty. But no, because I feel like this paper needs, this paper, the tea-dyed paper is gonna need some, I know that's crooked, Mod Podge on it to give it some strength. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna see what happens. Here goes nothing. All right, got my brush, I got my glue. Here we go. You saw it here first. And I'm just gonna try and quickly get a thin, oopsie, thin even layer. I should have used a bigger brush. Well, I will on the back. And I am getting the edges right now only because I used, yeah, see how it's wrinkling? Grrr. I knew that was going to happen. Oh well. Live and learn, right? Got to ink the edges. Oh well, it'll give it a cool, old aged effect like it has water damage, right? I printed these on laser. I learned not to rub it with your hands until after you've sealed it. For some reason, it might come off. All right, you know what? I'm going to be okay with that, I think. And I can also heat that up with the heat gun. All right, let's do the back. Yeah, so I should have, if I would have just used Mod Podge to glue the tea dyed paper down, it would have laid flat and I wouldn't have the little crinkles. If I would have followed my own rules, use the same substrate. Am I using the right substrate? I don't know. Use the same kind of glue or whatever under as you do over. A piece of wet paper right here. Okay. See, I see a little spot right there. Okay. Now, I need to decide how I'm gonna try and center that. Let's see if I hang on. I know it's gonna be a little bit off camera. It's just so I can see. I use my guides here. Let me not forget to make pictures. Okay, so note to self, don't use Fabri-Tac. Either use tape or Mod Podge, or if you do use Fabri-Tac, you're gonna have to use it for the under and the over. Oh no. There I go. Trying to gum up my brand new mat again. All right, now I know it's going over onto the other paper, which is fine because it's going to get a coat anyway. But I'm just trying to get down in that spine. All right. Here we go. Nobody look. Making me nervous. That looks straight. I sure hope so, because that's where it's going. Where's my dry brush? Why am I whispering? Don't even know. Oops, there we go. Okay, I don't dislike it. Get out the heat gun real quick. With my impatience showing through. Now you know, as soon as this video ends, I'm going to do another one with Mod Podge on the, using Mod Podge to glue down the, how that happened? The tea dyed paper. So I'll probably do a live building that cover. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look. See, that was my only worry about that spine. I need my paintbrush. Usually the tool I'm looking for has gone on the floor, but I don't see it. All right, just use my fingers. All right, any suggestions from the gallery on this? Because it's just paper, and I really do feel like it's just going to tear. I'm concerned about that side, but honestly, I just had that paint. I've been using it the whole time. What you guys do with it? All right, maybe if I just leave this alone, just like that, and let it dry. I'll put the sticks in, put a book on it, and there we go. Put in the sticks. Got something heavy on there. Let it dry, and then we'll see that later. So here's this one with its gorgeous gusset. This way, you could do with paper or fabric, and I still may put this fabric spine on it. I'm 99% sure I'm going to. I think it'll just look gorgeous. There's that one. And then I'm going to have to come back at a later date after, because it's going to take a while to dry, and show you guys how this one ends up. I will leave a link in the description box to my Etsy shop where you can get there's 2 different sets of the bookbinding tools. And then if you haven't seen the book cradle, this is for punching holes in your signature. This is made out of very nice masonite or MDF that's smooth on both sides. It's even got book cradle engraved in it. This is amazing. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to make one, you know, threw some board on the laser and cut it out and put it together. I don't know how I've lived without this in my journal making journey. I have no idea. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment below. I hope this helps make some kind of sense. Oh yeah, and don't forget to comment about these. I know this one is stained very dark. If you want these in the Etsy shop, let me know, and I can make some and put them in there. All right, have a great day. Bye, everyone.